Hello and welcome to the Author in Me Children's Literary Festival. Author in Me have created this festival to celebrate creative storytelling. And the first thing we'll be doing is bringing in the founders of Author in Me, Ekta and Monica, who will be telling us all about the company, how they started it, and also about the festival itself.
So at Author in Me, what we basically do is turn stories into picture books. And it's because, stories are a very integral part of our human culture. We all have grown up listening to stories. And while there's so much emphasis laid on reading stories, writing stories is a very undervalued, powerful tool of expression. Because where reading stories expands your knowledge and gives you an understanding of the outer world, writing stories expands your perception and gives you an understanding of your inner world, your fears, your joys, your dreams. So at Author in Me, why we started this was to celebrate this expression of stories through reading and writing both. And when you do that with children, they get this whole balanced outlook of the world around them and within them. So that's how we started, and that's why we do these stories into picture books, and which also infuses confidence. Things like empathy, things like belief, self-belief, with all those values are embedded within the children. So that was our thought behind starting Author in Me, and that is what we do. We celebrate stories, we create stories, we mentor children to write stories, and then we create books with them.
It's just wonderful, and there's so many children are so expressive with storytelling, aren't they? So it's lovely to be able to turn that into a physical thing. Monica, where did you get the inspiration from to start this in the first place?
Promoting reading and writing is one of the most valuable things we adults can offer to a child. It helps children escape to new worlds while nurturing their imagination and creativity. I believe that every child should experience the magic of stories and joy of writing. But in a world of TV, tablets and smartphones, encouraging your child to read and write for pleasure becomes a challenging task. But Ekta and I were keen to find a way to encourage them to read and write children for pleasure. Well, one day, my daughter, she brought home a story that she wrote in the school. She was only 6 years old and it was her first story. It was made like a paper book and she was excitedly showing this to all the members of family, and we thought we should preserve this memory forever. So we decided to turn that story into printed picture book. We drew illustrations by hand and digitized it later. And that is how we created our first picture book. When my daughter saw her story in the form of book, the beaming smile on her face reflected her happiness. She was over the moon. She showed her book to her friends and teachers and everyone in the family. After she was featured in the local newspaper and her effort was applauded in the school assembly, her confidence in the ability to write rocketed. And this experience allowed us to find a way to promote reading and writing in an organic way. And from there onwards, we decided to offer this service to as many children as we could. And that is how Author in Me was born. As rightly said by Albert Einstein, that logic will get you from A to B, but imagination can take you everywhere. I believe nothing is more rewarding than seeing your work appreciated. Through the AIM Literary Festival, our aim is to give recognition to our budding writers. We want to appreciate and applaud them for their incredible endeavors and writing such fabulous stories. Different stories that ooze wisdom, stories with profound messages, stories that amuse and entertain. We want to create a memorable experience for them and provide a platform where they can share their perspectives and insights with the experienced published authors and the rest of the world.
I mean, my son, whose story brought home like a folded piece of paper with some pigs drawn on it the other day, and he was delighted because that was his book that he'd written, and to be able to turn them into something really special is absolutely wonderful.
Absolutely.
And I think, and that to me is what makes Author in Me different. Is that right to other personalised book?
Absolutely. It's because we are taking a child on a journey right from the time the child has an idea to the point where the book is in their hands. It's an experience where you're telling children that you have an idea, you work hard on it, work in the right direction, get help where you need it if you want to develop it in the right way. And with all that hard work and all that perseverance, that thing will manifest into reality. So it's almost embedding the thought that every dream can come true if you work with hard work and perseverance. And that's such a powerful thought to give a child, that I'm already successful. You're redefining the definition of success for a child. You can at this point make a lot of difference. And while in the whole of this event, you will see how children have used their writing skills to make such a big difference, not just in their own lives, but in the lives that they have touched with those words. So it's a very powerful way of expression.
And it says that they have a voice and that they can be listened to, which I think is something that children struggle with a lot of the time, is because they're
absolutely.
So moving on from Author in Me itself and concentrating on today, tell us a little bit about the AIM Festival and why it's unique.
So because we work with so many children and we had these stories with us, well, turning those stories into a book is one thing, but then came the point where how do we show the world what these children are doing, what the amazing stuff that these kids are doing? Well, we wanted to show it to the world. So we expanded what we are doing to creating a platform. We had our blog where we share stuff that children write, everyday small descriptions that they've written, and some amazing ones too, some poetry, things that they write there. And this festival is just to celebrate this power of storytelling that these children have so beautifully embraced. And it's not easy for children to learn these things. It's not easy for children to listen to the fact that you have this story, but let's work on it more. A lot of patience is required from children, and to see that how beautifully they have embraced this and worked, we just wanted to celebrate their hard work and show it to the world.